I want to put my hair behind. I'm that girl. I want to be this girl, but I am this girl. It needs to be functional. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Allee Cyrus and I help ambitious women create a business and a life that they absolutely love, which is a lot harder sometimes than people may think, but it's possible and that's why we're here. So if you have big dreams, then you're going to experience what we're going to be talking about today, which is balancing authenticity with shifts and changes in your life, in your business, in different sectors of your life, even beyond that. It's really hard to reconcile the good, the bad, the ugly, like everything that can be happening in life, and then like the storytelling, the content creation, the showing up for your clients. It is really difficult at times, you guys, and I feel like more people should talk about this, but that's where we're gonna do it. So I really want to just talk first and foremost about authenticity. It is hard to be authentic when the stories you're telling and how you're showing up is tied to the revenue or the results or the goals that you are going toward, especially as you expand and eventually have a team, or your business expands even beyond you. You're gonna have good and bad days, right? But I think authenticity gets like an interesting rap. I think some people are like so for it, and there's almost like trauma sharing, and it's like, hey, I'm like dumping all of my guts out and here's all my information and here's my social security number. But then on the other side, there's like the pushing through, nothing is ever wrong, everything's perfect and polished, when behind the scenes there's a lot happening, right? And I really think there's like an intersection and there's a place in the middle where we can all come and find like a healthy existence when connecting, when still showing up for the commitments that we've made, and when nurturing our mental health. So when I'm talking about authenticity, wherever you are on that spectrum, I do want to invite you into like the messy middle in between conversation, because I think this is where change happens for women, especially women in business who are pioneering and trailblazing. So I want you to be able to give yourself permission before we dive into this to just understand and acknowledge where you are in your life and your business right now. It's not all perfect. It's not all polished. You can have really high mountaintop seasons. You can have really low valley seasons, and I think those are extremely important too. But you have to be real with yourself and authentic with yourself first in order to show up in your business, in your life, in your relationships, for your clients in a way that is functional and not repressing the reality that you're walking through. So where are you? How are you really is something that I want you to give space and thought on first. With that being said, we're really going to dig into like how you can specifically navigate this with some of the processes that I use and that I'm able to lead myself and the people that I'm able to coach through, because good and bad, happy and sad exist at the same time, especially as business owners. We are on a roller coaster, you guys. So let's get into it. I need to cross my legs. I mean business. Okay, so one, just to validate, just to get really real really quick, business is hard. This is hard. You are like doing a whole dang thing. You are paying the IRS. That is a lot, okay? Like you are doing many things. You're figuring out a lot of things you may not have learned in school. You are, making up industries realistically. There are a lot of things that didn't even exist 10 years ago that many of us do as careers today. And so I just want to acknowledge, like, it's actually really hard to do what you do. You are a huge trailblazer. Even if you're a plumber, that looks really different today than it did in the past, just because one, technology is always evolving, but then two, advertising, getting found, connecting with your clients, the way that you are able to talk to them, like that's even different, right? So just give yourself some grace in that. I see a lot of women get so hard on themselves, and I think it's exhausting if you're creating something new, exploring new things, making a new way, and fighting with yourself, fighting with your shame, fighting with your worthiness, not believing that you actually can do it. It's normal for it to be hard, and it's also normal for it to be amazing. Create space for that normal, okay? In that normal, doubt is real and valid too, okay? You're not gonna do everything right. That could cause shame. You might come up against things that feel like they're the end of the world. That could create sadness. You're gonna have a lot of emotions that are really good that get highlighted on social media, but you're gonna have some of those hard emotions too. So just normalize that. And then let's figure out just some great truths that you can cling tight to while you're navigating all of this. The number one thing I need you to understand is that you need to lean into your immediate needs. If you are in a season where you are struggling and you are coming up against things that are challenging, you're in a shift in the business, you just had like your biggest year ever 3 years in a row, and now you feel like this year is really low, or you're losing an employee, or somebody copied you. There are just a million things that can come up, obviously, as a business owner. And with that, you have to be able to identify your immediate needs first, because feelings are good at like blinding a situation and blinding a leader, okay? So sit down and identify what are my immediate needs and how can I lean into them? Do you need to bring in more clients? Do you need to call your lawyer? Do you need to regulate in some way? Do you need to have a hard conversation with the employee, a client, someone like that? What are the immediate things you need to get to a place of equilibrium? I want you to identify that first so that you can have a firm foundation as you move forward. This is one of my favorites. When my best friend Sarah actually asked me this question when I was having a total spiral moment, because I too have many hard days as a business owner. She helped me understand, like, I have a left side of my brain and I have a right side of my brain. All of us do, and we're using both of them as a business owner. You are not just a business owner, you are a content creator, you are showing up and you're a speaker, you're a saleswoman, you're an integrator, you're doing lots of stuff, okay? And so you are probably pinging back and forth between your right side of your brain and your left side of your brain. You know, you're creative and you're doer, and that's really exhausting. It can create a lot of fatigue, it can create confusion, exhaustion, like I said, spiraling. And so you need to be able to sit down and figure out, what does my right side of the brain need and what does my left side of the brain need? What does my creative person who just wants to have vision and think really big picture need? What does my doer who more specifically just wants steps and directions so they can knock things out and make progress? What do they need, right? Allow yourself to understand you can't do both at the same time and feel okay about it. Your brain's gonna be absolute mush at the end of every single day. 4 years will go by, your life will have not changed, and you'll have like lost that time. I see that a lot with business owners. We go so hard in the grind that we like lose our sense of self. So what do you need? We know our immediate needs, but then too, like, what do your brain sides need, right? What does your creative and what does your doer need? Have a conversation with both of them and get clear on that. Okay, I love this one too. So what will happen is, we know that we want to get somewhere in 20 years. And I'm sure you've heard people talk about this. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. I want to, like, side note, pause on that. I remember my first year in business when someone told me that, and it was like in the bathroom stall at the Entrepreneurial program I went to, and it was like, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. And I was literally peeing, you guys. And I was like, I will cut off my left arm if it takes me 10 years to get there. That is gonna be the worst. I'm gonna be like 32 when that happens, like blah, 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 blah. You guys, I am almost at year 10 now, and I can tell you that it is true. It takes time. Time is your most incredible asset, and you need to be wise with it, but you also need to be open to how long the process takes and to who you're becoming along the way, because she is the one who's going to be stewarding those huge dreams that you've been given by God, right? So when we look at that, it gives us the perspective of, yeah, this is going to take some time. It could be faster than we could ever imagine. It could be way longer, but it will happen as long as you don't give up. That is so motivating for me, and it may be for you too, but it's also a little overwhelming when you have a lot of problems that you're managing around you. For me, I need to then sit down and reconnect with my big vision, but then what are you gonna do for the next 3 days? If you look at your immediate needs, if you look at what your creative and your doer need, and you kind of organize your brain so you can process productively, then you need to be able to say, okay, for today, tomorrow, and the next day, what do I need to do, right? And you need to understand that productivity isn't just like going in hard for 10 hours for the next 3 days to fix your problems, though there are seasons for that. And I will say I've done that plenty, but you also may need to go get a massage. You may need to go take a walk with one of your best friends. You may need to cry. You need people that are safe people, obviously, to process these things with. So finding your people is key for this, but give yourself some space. You are a huge ally for yourself when building, and there are a lot of things that happen in these times when we're navigating, you know, having to pivot or make changes or having hard, authentic moments and then balancing that, because it seems like the world's watching in a lot of those moments, right? So give yourself a 3-day plan so that you can get the main immediate needs taken care of. And then from there, you can continue. That 72 hours is really important though. Okay, from there, if you have a team, if you have contractors, if you have anyone else in your business assisting you, you need to understand this. And this is actually true for employees, and this is true for clients, and then your friends or the people that are actually like speaking into your life. You have to make sure that people in your life are the ones that are jiving with where you're going, right? So I do not mean that you need to like be estranged from your entire family if they don't support you. But you do need to set really good boundaries with your family and your friends, and go to safe people when you need to process your emotions and figure out where the business is and where those next 3 days, those next 3 steps, and those immediate needs, you know, where they're going. You need clients that feel really great to work with. I have had a lot of amazing clients and have had some really hard clients, and realistically, all of them were my fault. I let all of them into my business. I let all of them into my world, and vice versa. And so if there is a client that you are not jiving with, there's probably a reason, and you will want to take care of that sooner rather than later, because if it's not working, it's not working, and that's okay. But they might find someone who's way better for their needs than you. Stop blocking them from that, and then you're probably going to find someone better for your client roster if you release them and let them have that space. So don't cling to things that aren't aligned. And it's the same for employees, right? My number one thing that I've had to learn, I love hiring for the person. That is how I built my business. I found people I loved and I taught them what they needed to know so that they could be a part of my business family. And I think there are seasons for that. But realistically, it is very important to hire for skill, not the person. Obviously, we want both. If we find a rockin' person who aligns with our vision, who has all the skills, jackpot. But make sure that you have people on your team that have the skills necessary to get where you want to go, or they will eventually turn into dead weight no matter how much you love them and they love you. This is the last part I want to talk about when it comes to people, so that you can feel really clear and authentic while we kind of wrap up your game plan. You need to be able to hire and fire fast. If something is working, amazing. If it is not, remove it. Okay? I sometimes spiral because I want to be really nice and I want to give everyone everything that they need, and I want to be able to give a space for someone to be able to grow and be nurtured. And I've realized that that can take from my business and from me in a way that's not productive for everyone else. When you're navigating that and there are things that aren't aligning inside your business, you will continue to spiral right back into the lesson that is right in front of you that needs to be learned. So listen to me. If something's not working, fire it. Okay? And do it with so much love. Obviously, we can always do a happy little video about hiring and firing with love, because I think that's 100% possible. But make sure when you are seeing this shift and you're feeling big feelings and you're navigating a lot of pieces within your business, that you are nursing yourself and you're nursing your business for it to grow in the future and for those that are associated to grow. And sometimes the association is not growing someone, and that's okay. So all of that to be said, I really want to close this video up because I traded my authenticity for acceptance for many years in my life, in my relationships, and in my business. And I had to understand that until I guarded that authenticity myself and prioritized it, I could not really be anything for the world. I couldn't be the leader. I couldn't pour into the people. I couldn't sow the seeds that I was being called to sow because things did not feel aligned for me. You have to first reconcile what is necessary and where you are within yourself, because everything flows from you. It flows from your heart, right? So by doing the different processes that I was able to lay out for you earlier, you're going to get clarity. You are allowed to be where you are in your business and express that in a healthy way. You're not going to be rejected for that. I see so much of social media that's like, my 7-figure year and my this, and I've been in business for 4 years and I've doubled every single year. That is amazing. If you're hitting those huge goals, celebrate. Celebrate. Dear God, please celebrate. Tell everyone. I want you to understand that you are not comparing yourself to them as you're scrolling. You don't have to do that, right? You're not compared to them in their journey. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You don't have to hit these major goals. You don't have to be a judge on Shark Tank. You don't have to, have an IPO. You just need to be yourself, and you need to be where you are, and your authenticity will literally draw in the people that will want to work with you, that will want to learn from you, that will want to flourish in the way that you flourish, because you have a lot to offer the world. So don't let something not going your way silence you. And if you are called to business, then you should be in business and you should lean in. So this is your permission to do that. And I just pray that you're able to take these practical steps to get the clarity that you need, and then take this permission to really show up at whatever stage in business you're in, and understand that it's enough, and to continue to just build, because that's the way you get where you want to go. So if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave them below for our next videos. You guys, I have built a lot of businesses, and I have definitely made my way around the block over and over when it came to failure, to lacking authenticity, to finding it. I have really devoted my life to this, and I want you to be supported and have the clarity that I didn't have while building. So I am cheering you on. I'm excited to hear what questions you have, any comments that you have, and I am really excited to see what you're able to create in this world. So have a great day. Take all this, flourish, and go be authentic exactly where you are. I'll see you in the next video.